as one of the games of the group stage. Let's get into Villa though, as our bans are underway. Thatcher, the first one to be taken off the board. Someone's got to bat it, Tim. It may as well be Oxygen.
Yeah, no surprises there. Still very, very common. We have seen Thatcher sneaking through a little bit here at the Invitational. We've seen, you know, a little bit of weight going towards other bans occasionally, but Jackal going to come in as the attacker ban from DAMWON Kia. Pretty good choice on Villa, I think. It's one of those big, wide open maps, and it gives your defenders a real chance to get out there on the roam, not be hindered by those constant pings coming in. Mirror will go by the wayside as a defender. Another one that is super powerful here on Villa and many maps. It's just that, again, information game. And the thing with Mirror and her information is she can react to it immediately as well as she's playing in behind those black mirrors. Valkyrie will round things out. Absolutely zero surprises, I think, from that banning phase, really. The Jackal being about the most sort of closest to an outlier, but still a reasonably common ban.
We're seeing relatively predictable defender bans, I think, right? We're seeing things like the Wamai go away. Maestro has crept in a few times. Mira and Valkyrie always going to be around the picture as well. On the attacking side, you tend to see something like a Thatcher and then this other wildcard ban. Think about the Flores bans. I'm pretty sure we've seen a Finca ban throughout as well. That seems to be the only kind of variable slot. Otherwise, the other three are having to go towards these more common and expected bans. Aviator Games is where things are going to kick off. We've got a 6th pick away from that Maestro that we spoke about just a second ago, normally being banned away as the sort of go-to operator or info operator for them. The Mute coming in, and on the other side, Yas. This is different. He's normally always the go-to Iana player. Here, he's stepping across onto the Nook.
I wanted to pick up on Yas. A little bit of a quiet tournament so far for Yas. There's one player on DAMWON Kia that we're really waiting to activate, and that's not a criticism of Yas. We know extremely good player. Will absolutely tear teams apart on his day. So we're just sort of waiting for that to happen. And the thing is, when you've got a bit of a sleeper in there like that, it's always a concern when you're going up against them, because if this is the game, whew, you're going to be in trouble.
Yas is like playing that platform game where you beat the first boss and you go, yeah, finish the game, and then it goes, oh, he's evolved, and then Yas is the one who steps forward, because so far it's been players like Woogieman, the Boogeyman, as we've always called him, stepping forward and putting up the numbers. He's currently plus 23 on KD diff across the competition, 4th rated across the whole thing, so it goes to show. Yas doesn't need to shine yet, but I imagine when things get tough, he will be that player that steps up. I will never forget him tearing teams asunder on the roam on maps like Bank back in Sweden.
Oh, absolutely. He's an absolute nightmare, and he's one of those players. I would put him up into the sort of top category in the world of players that just can't be controlled. That's the point. You know, we see these players that just go in and they just cannot be controlled. It's not anybody's choice anymore as to whether they win the gunfight. It's all down to them. So on the bottom floor, we've got Laxing playing underneath on the Kaid on a little bit of a roam there. Something that DAMWON Kia are going to need to be aware of. He's got Nitro in hand. He's likely protecting the electrical that has probably been placed on the wall. For anybody who doesn't know, we've obviously, you know, we pull in at Invitational a lot of new viewers to Siege as well. Kaid has a little gadget that will electrify a couple of panels of reinforced wall, but it can actually be applied to those walls from underneath, which is a little bit unusual. Alternatives like Bandit's batteries cannot be done that way. Laxing, he's going to keep himself safe downstairs with an opening kill onto Coated. Foxer gets in on the action as well with one onto Rin. 5v3, great start for Oxygen.
Yeah, it was interesting because at the 45-second mark, DAMWON Kia made the executive decision to back away from the south side and moved everyone up towards the north side. Instead, all pushing in through Bedroom and off to that side of the map, and they've lost 2 members in the process. Yas is still lurking right now, at least out towards the east, droning himself in, finding out what's going on. He sees Laxing here. He's going to give himself away there. That drone being hurt by Laxing as it did come jumping in, but Yas wants to take the 1 versus 1. He'll be on the hunt if he can find Laxing, at least give something back to DAMWON Kia in this round. But if he goes down a 2 versus 5, fair to say that first round is going to be in the gutter.
Great play from Laxing there, I've got to say. Absolutely fantastic on the underneath. Just a really good understanding there. 2 minutes, gets a kill, gets himself out of there at the right time when he's being pushed. Absolutely spot on from him. Exactly what they needed in that position. Yas, however, is now, after clearing Laxing, able to find that vertical nade onto Kino. But the point here is that's not the end of the world. There's only 50 seconds left to go, and DAMWON Kia have still got a lot of work to do. So if you sat at home thinking, why didn't Laxing stay down there and fight him off? He doesn't need to. His job is done, and DAMWON Kia are going to be rushing in here at the very last second.
They're going to be forcing their way up through Red red stairs. That's where Yatis has got one more off to his right. It is Katsang and the Nomad following up behind not long after, but Vert sat around the corner. They know the man's tucked in. A great grenade comes in, forces him to run. Great team play, but Yas swings in and gets down by Yogg. All the members of Oxygen getting involved in this round. Woogie's in for another. A 2 versus 2 and 15 seconds to play. There's one side inside the vault they've got to be aware of. They see him on the run. All they've got to do is hold. They've got the vault door to play behind here. They can't quite shut him down. Out comes an air jab to stop another run through. He's got a little bit of cover to come in here, but Katsang's going to step back out. The C4 coming out, and Fox gets the shutdown.
I understand the reason for that air jab going out, but in that situation where you're covering your planter behind vault door, you got to be ready to take those engagements, Des. And as soon as he flicks to that air jab gadget, he gives Oxygen all the chance that they need, and the NA team do not miss a beat. They get in there, they challenge at the right time, they find the kill. There was nothing that the Nomad could do about it because he wasn't in his rifle, he was in his gadget. You can shoot an air jab at somebody all you want, it ain't gonna win you the gunfight.
There's kind of small moments of brilliance from both teams, I feel, where the first 2 kills coming out of Oxygen really set the tempo for the round of if you think you can step in and take control of this map, we are not going to let you. 2 very quick kills, and Laxin disappears into the void before Yas can find him. But the really cute bit of team play I do want to touch on from DAMWON here is when they pressured Vert on top of Red Landing. They knew he was there, they'd seen him on a drone, they get a nade in. Once they know that there's no one going to be pushing back into that aviator door from the north, Woogieman jumps inside a study and takes the fight on the guy on the south side. If they hadn't cleared Vert, he would have very easily been able to get a trade out there. So it was good timing on DAMWON here to capitalize on the chaos and bring things down to a 2 versus 2. Sadly, had left themselves a little bit too little time, or not enough time in this case, to really move things forward. And Rin just donating that one to Fox and knowing that that drone was not much longer left for this world. But again, good moments of play from both teams in round number 1.
That's it, you know at that point that it's going to get caught out, so he just gives up the chase and says, yep, you won this one. Over to Trophy and Statuary we go for round number 2 then, heading into action phase. We've got a couple of players from Oxygen underneath once again, Laxing being one of them. Fox are downstairs, vertical, quite a heavy bottom floor presence here from Oxygen. Yogger as well, actually 4 out of 5. There's an opportunity potentially here for DAMWON here to recognise this, Des, and have a little rush towards site. But given that we're 30 seconds in, it doesn't look like they're going to be too aggressive on it. And that's going to give Oxygen a little bit of time to potentially just sort of jostle and manoeuvre and get themselves a couple back up to site so they don't suffer that fate. Now, we saw last time around, I picked up on it, how well Laxin played underneath. 2 minutes wasted, got himself a kill, just prevented that pressure coming in too early. They're going to be looking for more of the same here because with Yas getting the success on that vertical nade, it's very possibly going to try and look for more of the same.
Trying to sniff around Laxing, who's just backed his way through bathroom here onto the Astro stairs. So they've seen that happen, they've heard him run. They know where at least one member is. Yogg's on the move here, potentially looking to challenge someone in towards Bike Shed, but no one quite present there just yet. There are a couple of members outside who may look to jump in there quite soon. So good just to remind them, we are around the area. Don't feel, again, you can jump in this map and take control freely. You can see the focus out towards the east for DAMWON here at this point. That's where the push is going to come in. Remembering again, Tim, this is on the downstairs. The upstairs is where the site sits.
The thing that I do like from DAMWON here is they've recognised the problem they had with Laxing last time around. They tried to challenge him 1v1, lost and burnt a lot of time. This time, right, let's send 3 in. Let's really try and commit to getting that bottom floor cleared out and going through. The problem is they've just stalled out a little bit. They haven't gone in and actually taken any of those gunfights yet. We can see utility starting to be used, but Vertical's here as well. He's ready on the challenge. He's got reinforcements in front of him. He can really hold on here. He takes the first fight. What a headshot onto Rin. Can he find himself a second Vertical? Master of the kitchen, a supreme chef cooking up a problem for DAMWON here.
2 going down early on. That's the roam clear sorted out because now he's got the agency to play from below. Foxer, Yogg, they can step down into the kitchen and chuck those C4 skyward, which is what DAMWON Kia will looking to try and clear out. They've got themselves on the top floor. They've acknowledged the risk and they are going to try and push their way forwards. But they've got another problem. It's Laxing sat up inside Astro, who's been sat here the whole round, and there comes that C4 I was on about. Yas going down in the process, and Coated, well, he's pretty much all alone for now. He might be able to get Yas back up, but Fox is coming in below like a shark, a piranha pit from below. He does still have that C4 in back pocket and maybe looking to use it when the push comes through.
I think they've got a pretty good handle on this Oxygen as to exactly what's happening. Kino's going to take a little bit of damage on the long shot, but DAMWON Kia seeing time tick away here. Just Toxic Babe canisters burning those seconds away. Fox is just waiting. He knows he's got that nitro in hand. He's just waiting for the call that they've pushed into bathroom, and out it will go. But Kino, he's going to find one with the SMG onto Coated. It leaves Yas all alone with about 20 HP after being picked up. Time ticks down, clock runs out. Oxygen take round 2.
In dominating fashion, I feel it's worth stressing as well. Nothing coming back for the side of DAMWON Kia. Essentially a flawless round, if not for Yas sitting there and letting the clock run down to 0. So far across both rounds, we have seen dominance in the gunfights coming out from Oxygen. Sure, there were 3 kills for DAMWON Kia in round 1, but they were caught kind of trades coming through as they were getting kills. They were also being returned on the other side. That round just then, not a single kill going their way. And this was the notes that we had down from DAMWON Kia's last game they played, which was sometimes a little bit overconfident, over-aggressive. I don't really feel like that's the tail of the tape here today. It feels like they're slowing things down a bit too much, being indecisive on where they want to push in from, and Oxygen are just full-on punishing them when they start running down against the clock.
Oxygen have had good tournaments so far. We remember that game against Navi as well, where they were really, really dominant, and coming in here 2-0, they look like they are absolutely ready to play at this one. As I said, I touched on the Sweden major performance last time around. There are obviously circumstances outside of their control that contributed to that, and it looks like they've really got the bit between the teeth and they're saying, yeah, this is our opportunity. We're here as a full 5. We've had plenty of prep time and we're going to show you what we're all about. And boy, are Oxygen showing us so far, and it just plays into that thread that I keep bringing up, Des, that I want to see this better performance out of NA. I'm looking towards TSM. I'm looking towards Oxygen at the minute. I believe Sonics as well played very well this morning. So we're having that resurgence from the region that we wanted, and they are really coming in here and they're staking a claim on the Invitational so far.
I've said it to several people, the one game that I really lament we didn't get to see at full power was Oxygen versus Rogue back in Sweden. I was dead excited, so much so that I was like, right, who wants to cast the 2 games of Oxygen versus Rogue? I'll take both very happily. I really wanted to see that come down because their styles, I feel, are quite evenly matched. They're both quite aggressive. I always call Oxygen the most European NA team there is, and Rogue are playing a really aggressive APAC style to the game at the minute, so it makes it really enthralling to watch. Hopefully we get to see that matchup in the playoffs, but here this is still a pretty good matchup between the 2 teams. DAMWON Kia just need to warm themselves into the game. However, Tim, we did learn over the last couple of days that sometimes you've got to wait for the second half to get the full picture of a team and see what they can do. DAMWON Kia pick this map, they get forced onto attack to start. Once they move on to the defensive side, we could see a very different story. And I'll tell you what, Vert he's being targeted by these nades. They're like homing missiles at this point, Tim.
They certainly are, but he's non-stick at this point, Des. They just keep slipping off him. They cannot make them land. And Vertical just continues to hold that top floor. And DAMWON Kia, they're keen to get in there. They want Katsang swinging that hammer, ripping that floor up and causing those defenders on site to move around. That's the aim here, is get as much of that floor in ripped up as you can. Force players like Kino, like Yoga to move around, and then you have players on those horizontal angles to pick them up when they do. And they just can't create that disruption without getting into the top floor, and they can't get into the top floor until they move Vertical out of bathroom. And right now, every attempt they've made has failed. He's dipped himself back onto Astro stairs as he knows the pressure's now coming from that window as well. Smart play from Vertical, and Oxygen are just burning time for absolute fun here, Des.
The thing, they look a little bit dicey, don't they? That's the first entry kill coming in for DAMWON Kia. It is Rin at the 4 on the Zofia to strike first out towards Astro, bringing down Vert, who had slowly drew back there from playing inside a bathroom. So some top floor control being established as we got 3 members of Oxygen downstairs. We're in that final 60 seconds though, and only at this point are they starting to get that top floor control, and they're still not fully inside the building, Tim.
That's the problem. It's taking, yes, they got the kill onto Vertical, and it's a good start, and DAMWON Kia can definitely win this round from here, but they've got a lot to do in not a lot of time. This is now effectively moving into stage 2, clearing utility and gaining access to site. They've only got 30 seconds, and some of that has to be used to put the diffuser down or find kills. Kino's going to hit another on the SMG. He takes the head off Rin, and Oxygen feeling comfortable right now. Coated, he's just trying to work himself in through the laundry, but you're not going to catch anybody on that angle. Look at that from Foxy. Absolutely beautiful kill onto the Woogie Man himself. Shuts him down. Yoga, Kino getting in on the action. And this has been another great defense from Options is the top and bottom of it. We would expect, and you know, I'll fall back into old tropes. We would expect to see defenders do well on Villa. Yeah. So that is the start of it. But that's
not 6-0 well.
That's not just what we're seeing here. Exactly that, Des. That's not what we're seeing here right now. We're seeing Oxygen win rounds 4 versus 1. You know, 3 versus 1. Right now, DAMWON Kia aren't even really getting close. This is not just being edged over the line for Oxygen because they've got that slight defensive advantage on Villa. They're absolutely dominating these sites. They're picking up kills on both floors. They're using the entire map very well. They're controlling the entire map very well. When have you know, in the last 3 rounds, I can't think of an occasion where DAMWON Kia have felt like they've been in control of a large portion of the map for the majority of the round.
They've been hopping in windows, that's it.
Yeah, it's been, you know, when they have had top floor control in round 3, for example, they had it for 50 seconds. You know, they're not getting it with enough time in pocket to be able to really do something with it.
There's more work that needs to be done, is, again, as you say, the top and bottom of it. They need some rounds on the board. Let's see how they do in the second rotation of our 3 sites, starting inside of Aviator Games. It's looking pretty similar to last time, right? You got Laxin playing on the downstairs. Last time it was Yas playing on the Nook, who droned him out. Daxin caught wind and just charged away. Yas then did get a nade kill from below, to be fair to him, onto Kino, who was inside of sight. But outside of that, they didn't have a whole ton more going for them. It came down to a 2 versus 2 with no time left on the clock, and it all fell apart from there. Here, DAMWON Kia, I'm not sure how I feel about this. They're starting on a full north side clear when they've already showed last time round that that decision really slowed them down and led to them having to push their way up red with a jump in from Woogie Man inside a study. So they're giving themselves more of the map to clear out this time, and Oxygen are responding in kind. There are 3 of them pushed up towards the north. Fox are downstairs with the C4. They're just moving like water and flowing to DAMWON Kia's game here. Absolutely no issue at all. What a shot again.
Brilliant from Vertical there, just reacting at a split second, manages to get a kill. Katsang coated, right, DAMWON Kia. Now, let's get you into this game. You've got yourself a man advantage, 4 versus 3. We've got Vertical and Yoga off the board. Laxing and Fox are downstairs. There's only one on site right now, Des. Let's have a bit of urgency, DAMWON Kia. Let's push forward and put some pressure onto Kino. They're obviously conscious of the fact that Laxing has a nitro in hand, but that should be manageable. He's moving back towards red stairs. This is better from DAMWON Kia, but I would still like to have seen at the beginning of this round, you got Laxing playing in the same position he caused you a problem from last time. He should have been dead within 45 seconds. Just get in there, 2 or 3 of you, and get him gone.
This could very easily be a 2-1 though for Oxygen at the start of the round. Yoga had the right idea. He hadn't died yet. He was, what, 5-0? He swung onto the master bedroom from inside a trophy. If he'd netted that kill onto Coated, different conversation. And Coated is very low. He's only on about 5 HP at this point. And there's a swing coming in. Takes down the low HP Coated, back into a 3 versus 3. But at least DAMWON Kia have got a bit more time to play with, Tim.
I love that from Kino as well. He gets himself stunned out. So what does he do? Quick thinking, bang, there's a Toxic Babe onto the door. I know there was a second pushing me. That's just going to give me the breathing space, and that's exactly what it does. Taking breathing space by removing it from somebody else. Fantastic play. Yes, he's looking to push and pressure now from Study. He's inside of there, but Laxing is holding the angle from top main stairs. I'm not sure that Yas is aware, and if he peeks this corner, he's going to lose his life. Rin is able to get in and start getting the diffuser down. The cover here is essential. Toxic Babe canister goes out. Kino does make a challenge, but doesn't manage to get the kill onto Rin. Does do a lot of damage. He's going to suffer a nade though. Does he get away from it? He certainly does. The fuse timer just coming to his aid there, but a lot of work for Oxygen to do here. They've got kills to find, 2 versus 3, and this is better from DAMWON Kia, able to control the map a little bit better and get a plant down. Nice attempt from Laxing, but just loses himself in the jump over the banister there. Can't just quite find his shot, and that's going to be DAMWON Kia taking their first round, and we'll see how much of a toehold that gives them in this game.
In better fashion as well, right? Like, they had 3 remaining at the end of that round, and did they get away with a bit of a bandit plant behind that vault door? Sure. Yas, I think, made a really smart decision too. part of the kind of inclination as the entry is, okay, I want to go and get these kills here that create space for us. I want to clear up main stairs. Instead, he plants his feet inside a study and just says, Laxing, if you want to come and challenge me, I got no qualms with that. They had the actual aviator site itself being held just outside of the north door, the plant going down behind there. You had study being held down by Yas. They controlled just enough ground to make the plant happen. And if Kino had stepped forward and got away with that smoke canister a few seconds prior, that plant probably doesn't get stuck down. And Rin dies, it becomes a 3 versus 2 and they can win things out. So it was good tempo being shown by DAMWON Kia. Oxygen, for the first time, ever so slightly slow on the uptake.
A little bit. I think ultimately there, I think the way that I'd look at that round, it feels like DAMWON Kia did a lot with a little.
Yes.
They got themselves... they kept themselves in it with trades. That's something they've not done in the first 3 rounds. We've seen Oxygen a number of times, 5 versus 3, 5 versus 2, and they just haven't been getting those trades when they've lost bodies. This time, they lost the first one, but there was 2 straight back, and that's what DAMWON Kia need to do. Keep the pressure on Oxygen. Don't lose kills for free. They also then only took a small portion of map control. They weren't really invested in 90 corridor, they weren't at main stairs. They managed to get 1 person into study, but other than that, it was just pretty much all from that master and trophy side. They then got the diffuser down, doing a lot with a little that they had, and that was well played from DAMWON Kia.
They now know, at least on the side of Auction, that there is a Nook on the field. They just had someone sat on cams. I think it was Vert on that south side cam in towards Ruins, who saw Yas come charging forward and shoot it out, so they'll know to be expecting that and not to be relying too much on the information that might come in for the drones set up by Foxer. They've relied an awful lot at the minute on the Mute and the Mozzie too, and I don't blame them, you know, slow DAMWON Kia down. If the slow team is already struggling to get over the finish line, slow them down more with the Mute and the Mozzie. It's a perfectly viable strat and one that has worked pretty well to this point. But we'll keep an eye on DAMWON Kia and see how they can do. Yas has joined up with the rest of the team, likely because they want to make good use of those frag grenades. They've got the impacts coming out of Zofia, the frags coming from the Sledge and from the Nook. They've got a lot to play around here. So we'll see what they can catch with it. I imagine they'll be looking in towards those Banshees because we've already seen them stung by them being left up a couple of times.
Katsang just going to join this top floor push as well. Rin is still potentially looking to move in underneath. He needs to be thinking about it because Vertical and Yoga are both playing down there. Yoga's playing for having the Nitro, Vertical's playing to cover him. So they need to at least consider that. They can't ignore it for the time being, but DAMWON Kia look pretty intent on getting themselves into sight.
Yes, as the entry just holding here on the doorway in case someone gets a bit cheeky and tries to swing. Understandable. Katsang's going to take another 1 versus 1 against Laxing, who is in his favourite spot in the map, it feels. Astro is his one, but look outside. Katsang on the ready on that one. They had him on a drone. They saw the jump out coming in, and he was just ready. A good attempt by Laxing, but a great shutdown for DAMWON Kia.
That's it. I don't mind it at this point. Oxygen 3-1 playing well. Confidence is high. Let's keep it rolling. But Laxing just unable to find his man. Always difficult going out of windows blind like that because you've got to adjust your aim as you go, whereas they know exactly where you're coming from as soon as they hear the audio cue. Yes, with a beautiful headshot onto Kino there. He just stepped out at the wrong time. A grenade is just going to clear out that utility in front of him. It'll get both pieces. Courted's in and has an opportunity to get the diffuser down. He might not need to. The reload just kills Yas there. You could just see him just clutching at that double kill, but he just grasped a little bit too tightly and didn't find both. Courted, however, still able to get that diffuser down, and Yas's bad fortune will not affect the round realistically. Fox goes for that Nitro, not going to find it. Low health, challenges up the red stairs. Manages to get a... No, he doesn't get it down. The man goes prone, but he's going to shoot him in the back. It's surely only a matter of time. Those bullets raining around Fox. You can hear them hitting the bricks, hitting the rails, hitting the stairs, hitting everything but the man himself.
He's trying his very best here, but he's been pincered in from 2 or 3 different sides. It's like a triangle set above him. Katsang did just smash the fall through as well in case they want to get a defuse from below. It's a 3K for Foxer. I mentioned that he's the top rated in the competition, but he's got to do it all in the next couple of seconds. I think he's going to find himself out of time. At this point, it's playing for Techers. It's playing for the KD. It's all going to time out. DAMWON Kia will find themselves another round. And a great change since that timeout, Tim, in their playstyle too. A little more decisive in where they're going. When they come for the push through, it's getting a bit more aggressive. And they just seem to keep Oxygen guessing in the last 30 seconds of a round to where's the plant going down? Where's the push coming in? 2 rounds, 2 plants, 2 wins.
Much better from DAMWON Kia. We're talking about a competitive game now. We see this so often, Des. First couple of rounds, one of the teams just doesn't show up, just doesn't wake up in time. to be active in the server, and it just takes them that bit of time to get running. But you've just got to hope that you've not given away too much ground by the time that happens. DAMWON Kia right now showing that is not the case. They're back in touch, 1 round between them. Oxygen reeling a little bit, I think, at this point, because they were very dominant over those first 3 rounds, and now they need to start thinking, right, let's play this careful. We want to guarantee a 4-2 here on the half, so they're going to need to maybe just calm down the volume of players that they've been playing underneath. For starters, we've seen them with like 3 and sometimes 4 roamers underneath, whereas with DAMWON Kia now looking a little bit more decisive. Got to be careful with that, because if they recognise that Kino's in sight all alone, they're likely to take that opportunity.
This is spicy. So there's only one team I can think of that doesn't play hard breach on Villa, and that's Rogue, with their new play style of we call 3-2-1, we all push site, we don't care about reinforcements, we just go for it. And here we've got DAMWON Kia doing exactly the same thing. Coated, stepping across onto the Lion. The Hibana falls away. So a good bit of information game being played here to support his team. Probably where it acknowledges, look, I'm not really getting kills in this half. He found the one onto Yaga, through Master in towards Trophy. So it more relies on, okay, if they're going to keep jamming us out with Mute and Mozzie, we can bring along a different kind of information game altogether. We saw them with the DKB online earlier on, so yes, a change or two for them to use. That's a beautiful C4 from Foxe as well, out towards Rin, who had just walked through from spawn, and what a key member to pick off. Not so much in this game, but in general.
In general, yes, we know Rin's capabilities basically can just turn around on its head with a click of the fingers, essentially, but not going to be happening in round 6, as you say. Fox are just getting a little bit cheeky there with that opening nitro, but if you don't try it, you don't get. Katsang opening up main door, looking to apply that pressure underneath again. As I've said previously, DAMWON Kia, they know exactly where Laxing's going to be playing, because he's played there every single time they've defended this site. Get in there, get him cleared out. It gives you that man advantage, but at the minute, still a little bit slow from DAMWON Kia to get into the building.
Katsang almost getting swung on by Vert there, who came down main stairs just for a brief, not Vert, sorry, down towards main stairs on the south side of things. I think it was Laxing, but Yas has worked his way into the basement, in the downstairs here. If he comes up red stairs, unknown to the enemy team, he could do some real damage. There is a default camera to watch, and I imagine he'll check it a second time here just to make sure he hasn't been seen. If he can get below, even a nade being tossed up red can be enough, though I wouldn't be surprised if there are a couple of ADSs scattered around.
Yas just moving very, very slowly here. Just trying to keep his sound signature low. Vert is covering the angle, I think.
So is Laxin at the top of Red Hall.
Got the crossfire. Yas needs to be very careful, but what a shot onto Laxing. Coming into this game, I said that Yas hadn't really woken up inside of the Invitational there. He's just given us a little taster, Des, and what a morsel it was for us to whet our appetites on exactly what this player is capable of.
When DAMWON Kia are singing, you don't need Yas to shine, but when the chips are down, he's the one who can step up, moving up to 6-3 and doing so much work for his team in these last 2 or 3 rounds. Foxer taking a good chunk of damage from a nade from below. We've already seen Yas net one of these in this half, and may well try and look for the next. I think he still has a nade in back pocket. In fact, Sledge being out of them means that it is going to be there for Yas. If he can get himself a kill on this one, it would be absolutely beautiful to turn this round into a 3 versus 3. But Tim, we've only got 30 seconds still to play, so DAMWON Kia need to buck up their ideas.
That's it. It's like they sort of fix one problem and another one crops back up. Time was an issue, they move quicker. Kills were an issue, they find those, and time is an issue again. And DAMWON Kia, they're starting to get moving now. 17 seconds left to go. Fox and Yoga both on low health here. Just trying to aggress in. 3 versus 4. DAMWON need to find kills first and foremost. They're going to head in through Study. Yash tries to make the challenge. Misses his shots this time. They're all stacking up. Yash drops the hatch. This is done for DAMWON Kia as Vertical finds the long angle. Time will be the problem, but it wasn't happening, I don't think, with another 30 seconds on the clock for DAMWON Kia there.
Again, you could kind of see that fluid movement coming in from Oxygen as well. They clock all right. They likely aren't going to push up towards 90. We've just smoked it off. It's going to be blocked. And that means they'll come via Study and they'll push onto the Astro door. They had Foxer playing inside of Aviator. They had Vert up towards Red Landing. They had one inside of Vault. You've got 3 people all looking at the same angle, and sure enough, DAMWON Kia try and strong arm their way through. They fall by the wayside, and Yas, for all the bigging up I gave him in that last round, swings a little bit too far to the right, drops through the hatch, and is no longer a part of that attack. We've all been there. We've all been there.
Honestly, opening that Study hatch is something I do for that reason, because
you never know.
It's not really a danger to you on site. And you never know, you're in those difficult situations. You know, maybe you're backing up a Monty who's causing problems, and down the hatch they go because they don't think about it being open, and it certainly paid dividends there. I think, you know, the round was likely done anyway. Vertical had the angle on with the 4-16 on the Jaeger. He was always going to hit his shots there, I think, and it was a good end to a difficult couple of rounds for Oxygen. They'd just had a couple of rounds go against them. Round 4 and 5 went to DAMWON, who were just started building a little bit of momentum, but then we saw those issues. For me, Des, DAMWON were playing a little bit too solo on the attack. We saw Katsang pushing main door on his own, beaten back by Vertical. We saw Yas going up red stairs. He got a fantastic kill, don't get me wrong, but he's all on his own. You're easily traded and nobody can do anything to impact on your death.
They warmed into that half because we were saying after 3 rounds, you know, they're playing in pairs, but not as a team. You didn't get that team feel from them. It was only really until the later rounds where that started to come to life, and even then, we were looking in towards what was going on for Yas.
The 2 rounds that they did win, they got the diffuser down, Des. They played the objective, and I think that's what they just needed to focus on a little bit more. Working in units, attacking, getting map control, and then putting the diffuser down. It was certainly more successful for them. But let's see how Oxygen do on the attack now. We're going to move into round number 7. We'll see if they can find the same sort of success. The problem DAMWON have got here is that Oxygen have been hitting some great shots. Yog's going to continue here, finding one onto Rin, who's having a torrid time of it here on Villa so far. Last 2 rounds has been the opening death, and Oxygen got themselves an advantage, and they're starting to get themselves some map control, but the challenge comes into bedroom. Katsang keeps going, finds his man. Kino's going to go down, and Woogie Man comes to haunt them from the Astro stairs, finding Vertical, and the north-sided push, it just collapses, Des.
Such a spread coming in from the side of Oxygen, but Foxay swings onto the master door, finds a kill onto Katsang. Yoga with a nade coming in, finds another. And I thought in a 4 versus 3, you all being spread across different sides of the map was never going to work out for you, but they found 2 kills coming back in. Foxay moves up to 9 and 2. He really wants to hold on to that top-rated spot, Tim.
Playing fantastically. He's really having a tournament here, and it's a pleasure to see him play when he's hitting shots like these and just absolutely dominating teams. 3v2 now as Oxygen have managed to turn things back in their favour. They've certainly not reeled, and this is something I said about TSM, if you remember, Des. I think we're seeing a great mental strength from NA teams this time around. It's something that maybe they've struggled with previously, but the resolve of these teams to come back. Yoga with another nade onto Courted there. 3v1 now, and this is Oxygen's round to take. We're going to see them go 5-2 more than likely here, and as I say, just even within rounds, they're just able to fight back from adversity very, very well, and TSM showed it as a capability across the entire game as well to fight their way back into Clubhouse yesterday. Loving what I'm seeing out of the region.
They're taking time here, right, where Foxay's been sat on drone. They've made sure that 90 is clear. They'll have the call that Woogie was in study, and they've confirmed that he hasn't moved off towards 90, so that looks to be where they're going to start working their way forward. You can see the outlines on your screen now, working their way in towards site. Woogie tries to take a swing, but Laxinger's got inside. He's not the one with the diffuser, mind you. It's Foxay coming in from behind, so Woogie going to rotate his way across. He has got the MP5K in hand. It's no SMG, it's no shotgun, so it can be quite lethal in the right hand. Swings, but Laxin finds the kill. Oxygen winning their first attack, and that is 1 of 2 they need to get to match DAMWON record.
Excellent start on the attack from Oxygen. Going to be looking, I think, to close this one out quite quickly now, Des. They've got themselves a bit of breathing space. They've got momentum. The wind is quite certainly beneath their wings at the minute. And they're absolutely flying towards a great result, starting off against a team that a lot have been touting, Des, as potential winners here. You know, it's early stages. I don't go in that far to begin with. There's a lot of siege to be played yet. But a lot of people have been talking about DAMWON as potential finalists, as having, potentially the best run we've ever seen from an APAC team here. And I don't disagree with it, but Oxygen right now, they are on top of them.
If you're watching SI and didn't really get the chance to catch Sweden, it is worth restating exactly what DAMWON achieved back there. FaZe went on to win the whole thing, but in the semi-final, it was round 15 of map 3 in that semi-final. It came down to a 1 versus 1. Rin against Souls, and Rin unfortunately lost. And many of us said at the time it was NIP that waited in the final. The real final was that semi-final. If DAMWON had breezed their way past FaZe or beaten them even in that last 1v1, they could have gone on to win the whole thing. And my God, would that have been a story story to put an end to the LATAM domination we've seen for the last 18 months or so. Let's see though, because Oxygen are giving fair shout for NA as well. It's not just APAC that are fighting their way upwards. It feels like at least for TSM and Oxygen, they've still got a lot more to say.
And the Sonics as well. They're going well.
That's true, yeah. I mean, after a disappointing throw against Empire.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, there's going to be a lot of teams lose to Liquid, so let's not count SSG out of things yet, because the way that I've described Liquid so far, not to get too far away from this game, but the way I've described Liquid, and I've watched Liquid for a lot of years now, and that is, they look like dangerous Liquid, as I like to call them, and that's when Nesk and Palu are having fun, basically, and they're just going in and tearing teams apart, so it ain't going to be easy for anybody to stop those on the LATAM side of things, but one of these two teams certainly could at the minute, because they've both been going very well. Oxygen 5-2 here on Villa against DAMWON Kia, and just really seeing them struggle to get into the game. Laxing just a little bit slow on the uptake there, has the opportunity but doesn't find his man. Boogeyman's just going to keep holding on to the Astro side of things.
Laxing's revenge, I'll call this one. Pushing in towards that window on Astro, where he was tormented, really, by, like, Katsang, for example. He tried the jump out, of course, and Katsang won the reverse fight. Kino straight in and finds two. How has he marched his way through? I thought it was him getting that third, but it was Vert stealing one on the south side. A 5 versus 2 there, in without even a moment's notice. Foxay getting the plant down. This looks to be a 6-2 to Oxygen, as they have completely torn DAMWON Kia asunder.
All day long, Grin, he's trying to find something, just wants to get it going here. Can he find his man on the window?
Oh!
The challenge is there. They both miss each other, and it will continue. Yoga taking a bit of damage. In comes the nade, just to slow things down a little bit. Yas, low health as well on the Thunderbird. Yoga gets the kill with the LMG, and that is going to open this right up now. Yas, 1v4, very little health. We know he's capable of it, but it's still unlikely. He's looking for that challenge. He knows there's a man on the window. He can keep trying, but no, he's just going to dip away. His time has gone. There's nothing to be done here, Des. He gets himself a little consolation kill. That is going to be all it is. It's impactless, it's meaningless, as Oxygen ultimately, they take yet another round, 6-2.
He walks away with a morsel kill, while Oxygen take the full 3 courses, absolutely destroying DAMWON Kia in that round, and by the looks of it, destroying them on the map. Not a single defensive win coming in yet for DAMWON Kia. I know we've only seen 2, but they're making this just look easy, to be honest with you, Tim. On fire, and I know a couple have said about DAMWON Kia, a little bit overconfident at swinging things they didn't necessarily need to swing. The difference is really, it feels like all 5 players from Oxygen have shown up today. On the other side, Coated, Rin, not really present, it feels, unfortunately.
Confidence Kino it was there, as he just walked into sight. Like you say, that could have been 3. Vertical finds the one on Astro stairs from somewhere. But if Vertical doesn't hit that shot, Kino was already lined up on it. Kino was bang on the head with his crosshair, and he was definitely getting himself a triple inside of probably about 1.5 seconds. That was absolutely ludicrous play from him. So Oxygen find themselves 6-2 up. They're going to be attacking onto Aviator Games. They attacked this site back in round 7. They won it. DAMWON, they closed down the North Bush well, if you remember. They got those 2 kills to open things up, but ultimately Oxygen were just able to rotate and show great resolve. It didn't rock them, it didn't shake them. They were just like, right, we can't push north side, we'll push elsewhere, we'll find kills. Yoga got a nade, Foxer went wild, and they still locked it down. So for me, Oxygen are coming in here confident. DAMWON Kia right now must be thinking, what can we do against this team?
What I love in that last round is kind of what I spoke about when I said, oh, it's a very European NA team with Oxygen, right? A lot of NA teams are kind of regarded as being the chess players of Siege, right? They'll drone everything out. They'll have a strat that they follow to the checklist, and they tend not to deviate away from it. And a couple are trying to take in more of that LATAM style of see opportunity, take opportunity. That last round epitomized it, because Kino, they must have droned out from red and gone, it's clear. Like, I'm just going to go in, boys. I can kill 2 people. Goes in, kills 2. The rest of the team, without missing a beat, say, you know what, same. Foxay's in getting the plant down. DAMWON Kia in disarray. And it just shows that can-do attitude that I feel NA has missed a little bit historically. Yoga's going to find himself shut down. He's had a wonderful game so far, and Katsang is starting to bite back at 6-6 himself. Kino going for another. Rin on the crouch, wins the fight against Kino. A 5 versus 3 for DAMWON Kia. A good start to the round.
Exactly the same as we saw the last time that Oxygen attacked onto this site, basically, was losing those first 2 players and then having to fight their way back into it. We saw them do a great job of it. We'll see if they can repeat that. I think DAMWON Kia will learn those lessons though, and I think they're going to be a lot more cautious about giving lives up. Interestingly, Oxygen do look like they could potentially be on a little bit of a rotate. Fox has just dropped away from this push, but Vertical is continuing in through Trophy and Statuary for the time being, looking for anything he can find at this point. We'll ignore the Maverick line that's been drawn across the wall. You're not quite level, that one, Des. Maybe a spirit level needed on that.
Quite possibly. We speak about the Picasso level artwork that we see on things like Oregon Wall. Fresh frequently tells me I'm no artist. I'm like, bro, you can't appreciate good art. That's a beautiful line.
I mean, Fox is on a great game, so I'm not going to get
You know what he's done there? That's like when you're trying to write a sentence on a piece of paper that isn't lined, and you just slowly go down more and more diagonal as you go, and you get about halfway down and go, hang on a minute.
I'm going to say, Fox, I'm sure that there is some big brain reason for it. I'm sure it's something to do with angles. So he's had a great game so far. Leave him alone. Vertical, he's going to be holding from 90 elbow down long, just trying to see if he can find anybody popping out of sight. Really, what Oxygen need nowadays is a cheap pick. They need somebody to peek them, and we know that DAMWON Kia can be guilty of that sometimes, just over-peeking and taking the challenges when they don't need to. Katsang, thank you very much. He goes for the peek onto long, but he does it in the right way.
He does it for a reason, right? A nade comes down and he goes, okay, the guys to get pushing. They drone Yas out earlier on. He knew he was there. It's a great shot nonetheless. And Foxay's now going in for the plan. They've got study control. Laxing, where Yas was earlier, gets blindsided by the open hole in the wall. And Foxay's found Coated back. It's a 2 versus 3. Vert stepping up to the door. They've got the cover of smoke still to play in, but it's a 1 versus 3. He's a single bullet from death. And I'm pretty sure DAMWON Kia are thinking, you know what? The clock will do the hard work for us here. We ain't got to panic too much. Steps up and finds one for himself. But the clock is most definitely going to hit 0, and DAMWON Kia prolong their stay on Villa a little bit longer.
Well played from Dam.
3 more rounds to get this right for them to take away DAMWON Kia's home map and go through into Oxygen's sweet favourite, which is Oregon.
Going to be Trophy Statuary. We saw this last in round 8. Oxygen got the win once again. It was down to, I'm going to call him now, Confidence Kino, as he just burst himself into sight, got himself 2, could have been 3, but Vertical beat him to it, and they were just dead in heartbeats. It was like one of those films where you've got like a secret agent that just walks into a room and it's just bang, bang, bang. It was absolutely fantastic play from him. We'll see if we have that sort of energy and passion coming out of Oxygen once again, or do they just slow things down a little bit? You can't always get away with those movements. It was just that Kino saw the opportunity and went for it. So we're going to have the setup going. And interestingly, Des, on this one, DAMWON Kia have brought along the Pulse. They're going to be using a lot of utility downstairs to try and keep him safe. And obviously, he's going to be looking for those nitros off that heartbeat scanner.
I swear I've seen Pulse somewhere recently.
Oh, I don't think you will have done.
No, like in the last few minutes as well. It might have walked past us somewhere, I don't know.
Maybe.
This is this bald guy, quite small.
You just feel his presence quite a lot, do you?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I hear him talk quite a lot as well, I think.
Nah, I don't think it can be Pulse.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've never seen him in the same room with me, for example.
No, that's true. That's true.
That's all I could say, for sure.
Good point. Maybe I'm just seeing things and hearing things and whatever this is. Let's get into round number 10 then and see if DAMWON Kia can again prolong their stay in Villa, or if Oxygen will be taking them into Oregon very shortly. Kino, at least holding the angle for now, looking himself up towards Red Landing in case someone does want to peek out. The 5 yellow ping that you can see coming through indicating that there is a drone watching, and they believe it's Verts, just giving them an idea of someone might be about to come stepping through. Be wary. But the problem is the downstairs player, Tim. We spoke about this Pulse already. He's going to have eyes on what's going on above here. He'll know that Kino is at the top of Red Landing and be able to feed that information back across to his team. And Rin, what a step out. Wasn't quite a ping there, but it was enough for them to know this is the best time to go for a swing, and a beautiful entry.
There will be no confidence from Kino this time around as Rin sees to that. And as you say, maybe that's something that DAMWON Kia have just been missing a little bit, Des. Information. Just that knowledge of where people are. When they've got that little bit of a heads up, they can go in and win the gunfights. They can win the challenges, not a major problem. And Rin has just shown us exactly that. But I tell you what, pressure's going to mount quickly here, because it just feels like they've conceded a little bit of south control here, and it's just allowing pressure to come from that side very quickly.
Katsang is again feeding the information up to Rin that someone is on landing. Rin not quite feeling a swing just yet. But when the opportunity comes in, well, you can bet your bottom dollar he'll be having a good go. Yoga's the one holding off on that angle. We've got two looking in towards Master for Oxygen, and Laxing is joining Yoga on the south side. So it's a southeast-sided push coming in from Oxygen here. No one looking to play up on the Astro window, which means Woogieman is largely uncontested, at least for now. You can see more of these pings coming through. They know there's a little bit of a threat in the way. And for DAMWON Kia, they've got 3 players up in Astro. Not sure about that again, what I've just said. There's no one's pushing on that side. And now Woogie's going to descend downstairs and see what work he can do from below.
On the Oryx as well, of course, let's remember that there is the ability to jump up those hatches if he chooses to take one out. Need to be careful, Woogie. You've got Laxing right above you. I'm not sure if he's aware of that or not, but Courted's going to find Foxy and Oxygen. They've just stalled out on this one, Des. They're not really making too much progress. Yoga does manage to get himself inside a site. Woogie does come up the hatch, I can only assume, and finds Laxing.
Wow.
Gets himself another Rin, finishes things off, and that is going to be one to see on a replay, hopefully, because that was a real play from the Oryx.
I'm shocked he got away with that. Unless Laxing has stepped around the corner and therefore didn't get the sound of the hatch being opened up, he's just come up and wished him a good morning. It was a bit of a surprise. I really thought he'd turn around and get the kill as the Oryx was coming up the hatch and stuck in the animation, but no. Good shutdown, a flawless round for DAMWON Kia at that, and a lot of it coming off the pulse, because Katsang was constantly feeding information. One for the opening kill, then Yoga stepped in and helped him go down as well. You saw the player that was inside a trophy hit the deck. It was all based on that information game, and just in case the pulse wasn't enough, they also had the bulletproof coming out of the Aruni. Really good setup for them. When you look at how they were starved in the first half of information because of the constant mute Mozzie setup as well, it's good to see them turning the tables back on Oxygen here and bringing things up to 6-4.
Flawless round then for DAMWON Kia, and they are back, Des, fighting their way back into this one, showing that the defensive advantage on Villa is still a very real thing. Heading down to the ground floor now, it's going to be dining and kitchen. They've successfully won both of the top floor sites. This now for me, Des, is the big question. We haven't seen them defend on this ground floor yet. DAMWON Kia's choices have all been top floor, so this is definitely a tertiary site choice for them. Are they going to be able to lock it down, or is this Oxygen's opportunity? They've brought the pulse again, no surprise, because they used it beautifully last time.
They've brought an essentially identical setup to the previous round. You know, you've got Woogie again on the Oryx, you've got the bulletproof coming out of the Aruni for Rin, you've got the pulse on side once more, and that's them probably expecting to play a very similar game here, in that Oxygen will want the top floor control, they'll push Master, they'll push into the south corridor, and that's where you can feed information and start clearing things out. Worth noting, it didn't really weigh into the last round, but Finka, when the whole team is juiced up by those nanobots, it does increase the speed at which your heart beats, and therefore Pulse gets more frequent updates on where you are. It makes it arguably more valuable than what you get from a red ping, for example, at least for the Pulse, because he's got essentially a real-time view on where that player is. So if the calls are spot on, they can net themselves 2 or 3 kills very comfortably once the juice gets pulled.
Woogieman just going to dip himself back onto Astro stairs there, as attention is starting to be paid towards this top floor entry. Vertical gets himself inside, and this is actually really good time for Oxygen. Inside the first minute, boots on the ground in Master, looking for that clearance and forcing players back. There's 1 on red stairs, there's 2 on Astro, so Oxygen need to be careful here, but they do have an opportunity really to close out this top floor area and take full control of it.
1 C4 coming out from Coated, connecting on to no one, unfortunately. That means this Pulse's C4 play is only going to be effective for that one final C4 in his back pocket. But in the last round, it didn't come down to C4s at all. It just came down to the information. So still a highly valuable operator, even when those C4s are off board. No doubt he'll have an idea as to where Kino is right now. Know that he's looking in towards Master South window. If he were the only player, Master South window is pushing his way in towards Pantry by the looks of it and stepping his way forwards. Boxer and Vert circling above. So an east side take looking to be the play.
Woogieman and Yas could be very important on this defence. They're sort of pincering at either side on the flanks, but they're being held at bay. Woogieman has actually dipped away from Astro stairs now. I think Yas is still in place on red stairs, and as you say, Kino just sitting on the information tool inside a site, feeding those details. Vertical, no, you gotta remember they work both ways. Courted able to just sit and wait, and as soon as his man appears, he takes the shots and get himself a cheap kill there, and that's going to give DAMWON Kia a great start. 5v4, Kino taking damage, Kino dying, Katsang finds a second onto Foxy, and DAMWON Kia, Des, they are back. They're going to be looking at 5-6 here on Villa if this continues. Yoga shut down, they're like a pack of sharks. Des just circling here, ripping and tearing at their opponent, all wanting a piece.
Playing a bit of a murder mystery game there, and I think it's fair to say it's DAMWON Kia in the laundry with the UMP. Katsang 2 big kills to shut down the door, and the painful thing is, Tim, that timeout, I said 2 things. 1, the timeout's really going to help Oxygen get a plan together. 2, they've got to see DAMWON Kia rotate through all 3 sites. And if they get to the off-site of downstairs, that's where I think Oxygen can nip this one in the bud. They've just gone through that site. They haven't achieved that. We're going back into Aviator games. It is not looking pretty, as DAMWON Kia have woken up into this game. And like we said back in the first half, when it was 3-0 to Oxygen, wait until you've seen the second half before forming an assessment, because DAMWON Kia are now here to play. I've
spoken about that mental resolve that NA have been showing us a couple of times, and now here's your moment, Oxygen. You know, ultimately you were 6-2 up. You had this game in the palm of your hands, and DAMWON Kia, they've fought back hard. Now it's time to lock it down for Oxygen. They've got to get this one over the line. The last thing they want is this going to overtime right now, because DAMWON Kia go in there like a runaway mine train at that point with the sort of momentum that they've got behind them, and it's going to be very difficult to derail those efforts. So Oxygen, knuckle down. It's time to close it out.
Easier said than done, Tim.
Certainly is. Against this DAMWON Kia at the side at the minute, it's almost not your choice.
You have a job as a coach, mate.
I don't know.
Dev just popped round the corner and a camera's about to wave.
Well, that's just you in front of the camera, isn't it, Does?
Yeah, not that bad. Normally it's the whole, like, surfer dude hands. That's the thing that comes out. See, the thing is that you don't see from like behind the camera is Tim, when he casts, doesn't wear glasses. But whenever there's a camera around, then glasses got to go back on, haven't they, Tim? Why is that? You just like how you look better in glasses? Or?
Yeah, basically. I do need glasses, I will say that. It's not like they are prescription glasses, but I need them for distance. If I wear them to look at like monitors and screens close to me too much, I get a headache. But I do prefer the way they look.
I've known you for 3 years and not really known that, to be fair. The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you can tell about a guy. Let's see how this round plays out then. 45 seconds in, and Oxygen are in the building. They're inside of Cubby, they're inside a bathroom, they're starting to work their way forwards. But DAMWON Kia, just as Oxygen did, have raced up towards the north to match them and try and contest, get a couple of kills coming through, which Oxygen did achieve with emphatic success not a couple of rounds ago, back in the first half. There was a lot of damage coming down onto Yas, who's managed to back himself away. Would have been a tragic loss, given you now have Wamai getting discs up to 30 seconds remaining in the round. Foxer took some damage of his own, and truthfully, I feel like they really need that Wamai, given throughout this entire half, Oxygen have brought along 6 frag grenades, and you've seen great success. Yoga, in the one round that he got a 3k, I think it was round 7, found 2 nade kills in that round. So it isn't just a case of bringing along 6 nades, it's also using them. Oxygen generally have done pretty good at that.
DAMWON Kia very much committing to sites here, and I think that's a little bit unfortunate for Vertical. If my eyes don't deceive me, he took out a drone as he was trying to take down that default camera as well. It was just terrible timing, unfortunately. It was just one of those things that happens, but when we look at the drone count, 7 left on the side of Oxygen, so enough to work with. But DAMWON Kia, if they keep chipping away, they could really start denying some of that information. They haven't really been out and about in the map too much to try and find those tools. We've only had the mute playing underneath. Woogieman's days may be numbered down there. He's still down for the time being. The other 4 are on side of sight, and DAMWON Kia, they're basically just trying to turtle up and hold on here. And with 50 seconds left to go, Oxygen need to find a little bit of pressure, and that pressure's going to come in the form of a beautiful nade from Yoga underneath onto Yas. He was very low health there, so that's why it's taken him out so easily. But 5v4 now, Oxygen have got themselves an advantage.
I'll give it to both teams. The drone play on this whole map has been excellent. They've had several times where they've caught members out. Yellow pings have come in, and they've got a shutdown. Rin swinging onto the door as another nade comes singing through, and that's the last now. The pool of the grenades exhausted. The whole 6 users like a Pokemon belt. Katsang stepping in for one back onto Yoga. A 4v4 and 15 seconds to play.
Massive kill there from Rin, just managing to pick one up on the map store. 3v3, it's going to be a bloodbath death. They're pushing in through game store. Rin's in bolt, shut down by Foxer. Yet another important kill for him. He gets the diffuser down surely now as Woogieman, he starts in this 1v2, trying to hold on. Kino's going to blast him with a concussion grenade. He's got to wait for those effects to die down. That burns 5 seconds. He takes the shots. He knows they're behind the bar. He has the hit point advantage here, but he needs to find 2 kills. The challenge has to come in at the same time for OXG. The trade here is essential. 1v1s could be dangerous. Woogieman takes shots. They continue to rein in. We see the traces. There's just nowhere for him to go, Des. He can't find the angle here. This is agonising to watch. Both of them in behind the bar. Does he find one? Oh, he gets both! He's got it done! Woogieman in a 1v2. You must be scared of the Woogieman, Des, because he is terrifying.
I'm told the Boogeyman looks under his bed for Woogieman. What a clutch coming out at the end of 3K to send us into overtime, Tim. Would it be a best of 3 for us if it didn't start this way? I'm so excited for this series. I woke up today knowing it was going to be massive. And DAMWON Kia, after getting slapped in the first half, have brought it back to 6-6. Give us 3 more rounds.
Give me 10 more rounds, Des. Give me 20 more rounds.
Can we just restart the whole best of 3? Let's
go again. This is unbelievable from these 2 teams. They are not leaving anything on the field here, Des. They are giving absolutely everything, pouring their all into this. So impressed from Woogieman there. You gotta feel for Kino and Fox here. They're both on low health, both basically trapped behind the bar. They can't go anywhere because they're being peppered with shots from Woogieman, so they know if they step out, they're just gonna get hammered. So they've just got to try and lock it down together in their little bunker that they've made. And then Woogieman, he knows he's no choice. He has to aggress, but he finds both of the kills. Absolutely unreal. That is one of the clutches of the tournament that we've seen so far. Great play from Woogieman.
It's like playing whack-a-mole as well, right? For Oxygen, it was like pop our heads up, take a few shots, back down, up, down, up, down. The thing is, only the one player was doing that. I think it was Foxer off to the right-hand side, was popping up, taking a couple of pot shots, then back down again and again. The player that had got the plant down, I forget who it was already because I was just so enthralled in the moment of seeing Woogieman work his magic. He didn't have the top-ups taking his shots. They were just playing super passive, holding the right side of the bar. I kind of almost wish they'd taken a few more pot shots between them, because if Woogie had overextended and got himself into a fight with the guy on the right, the one on the left can get those shots in to close it out. So at worst, you get a 1-for-1. At best, well, you just kill him outright and win the round and end the map there and then. But instead, we get to see DAMWON Kia extend it to overtime, and they stay on the defense. It was their map choice, meaning Oxygen start out with the side choice in regulation. DAMWON Kia get to pick what side they start on in overtime, and they have picked to go to defense.
Such a big round for DAMWON Kia to win.
For Woogieman.
The method of winning it is surely going to be a hammer blow to the hopes of Oxygen here on Villa, but Kino, absolutely not. He comes right back from the end of round number 12 into 13 and gets the opening kill. He shows he's not going to be kept quiet by some little 1v2 clutch Rin. He loses his life at the beginning of the round, and Oxygen have got an advantage in this north-sided take onto Aviator Games.
Oh, Yas going for the swing onto Kino. He's down to a slither of HP, juiced up by the Finker, but goes down anyway. Yas can close that out. Foxay sat on the door. It's between Katsang and Yas here to dart around with a bit of support from Woogieman, who's playing on the south. Even gets a supporting smoke canister thrown in from Coated on towards the Wolf window to stop Yoga vaulting inside. So for now, at least, DAMWON Kia have pinned several members of OXG in place. Foxay down to about 40 HP. Good time wasting coming out of DAMWON Kia, but I'm always a bit nervous they overhold this and get punished.
Katsang, he's just going to keep challenging onto Astro Window. Nope, it's time to go, but he's left it a half a second too late, and Vertical manages to drop him just as he goes over the balcony there. 1 minute 20. Oxygen have got north-sided control, 4v3 man advantage as well. They have everything they need to start this push forward towards Aviator Games now. They need to get themselves into 90 corridor. Yoga recognises that, gets himself up onto the window to apply pressure to Woogieman. Another kill for Oxygen, and this one is seriously going in their direction.
One thing that's very easy to say about players, one of the best players in the world, because you look at their KD, and Yas is that player for a lot of people. You look at the kills that he gets. What just happened there up towards the north is a prime example of why he's more than that, why he goes beyond just being a great out-and-out fragger. It's the game sense. Kills the drone, vaults over into red corridor, immediately checks both ways in case anyone is holding him. He gets away safe. Katsang, not to say that he's not one of the top players in the world, else he wouldn't be here at SI on one of the biggest teams, or in terms of expectations to deliver, but he overstayed and died. Yas, just a very smart back away once again.
Going to see that nade taken out there. I think there was an attempt to burn the ADSs in behind the door to allow it to go in, but it will be unsuccessful. Yas manages to find Yoga. Important kill there. Levels it up to 3-3 and gives him control of Study Des so he can hold on to Map's door here. The peak comes and he does damage. He tries more, goes to the shotgun for Corton, and that's a big double. DAMWON Kia are doing it. They're doing it in style. 3K from Corton, and DAMWON Kia are truly ruling here on Villa.
Unbelievable. They've swung it back so aggressively as well. Coated a massive 3K push with the shotgun at the end off the back of Yas. I finished talking about his game sense and how he reads the game, and what's his attention there? He turns towards Study and deals with the man trying to push in. He just knew, you just saw it on the replay here, where he knew Yoga was going to come pushing in later on. You don't get that through reading a game and playing it several times over to the point of perfection that you know what to expect. Beautiful round from him and a great close from Coated.
5 rounds in a row for DAMWON Kia. Just one more, they must be thinking, because that is going to get them an unbelievable comeback victory here on Villa. And I'm so excited. Every time we cast DAMWON Kia, they do this to us. Back at the beginning of Stage 2 of APAC, I said DAMWON Kia are such a fun and exciting team to watch, and I want to see more from them. I think they've got success in them, and they're just showing exactly why I said that. This is what we saw at the beginning, even in Stage 1. They weren't winning games, but they were definitely fun to watch, and they've now managed to get that other element in there as well. Unreal performance.
I remember the first ever game when DAMWON Kia played against T1. There's a rehost coming in, by the way, hence why we're back on the screen, but it gives us time to tell a little.
And they've had to dig deep and fight out a win, and it might have been a bit of an ugly win, but they got it done. And right now, DAMWON Kia are showing us that ability. Des, they were 6-2 down. They were 6-2 down, and yet here they are, 7-6 in front. This is the first time they've been in front in the entire game, and they could potentially just go on now and finish this off and take Villa. And it's just an unreal performance from them.
I'm really starting to understand why North America has got this obsession with baseball, because they love a good throw. It was Sonics as well against Empire, 6-3 on Oregon, all the way back to giving it to Empire to go on and win the series, and you're seeing it happen now.
I mean, you're a brave man going in before it's happened, Des. I will say that for you.
They've thrown it to overtime.
You're a brave man. You're a braver man than me.
All right,
It's time yet, and Oxygen can still do this. Oxygen on the defence here. They're going to be down on bottom floor, and defence was their strong suit last time around. Dining round 3, they won it. They did very well in winning it.
It was the end of their win streak. That's where they got to the end of that round, was like, cool, we're 3-0. We went back to AVG in round 4 after a timeout, and that's when things started to work against them. So to me, this is a site I've got written down with my notes. Textbook Oxygen, not threatened. They didn't feel threatened at all, but DAMWON Kia are a different force at the moment.
One of the big reasons that they won round 3 on Dining was the fact that Vertical was able to waste 2 minutes on the top floor before getting away with his life as well. So it was just really well played from him up there. DAMWON Kia, they need to clear Vertical out much quicker than they did last time around. They can't allow him to keep his position there.
Foxay still thinks, I think, that he's down on Study Door. He's just realised a little bit too late that maybe he's not, and Yas is now pushing his way in towards site. Yoga might be about to get blindsided from above. Yas has already run his way completely up to the north side here. They've all bolted out, so okay, fair enough. They've backed away. They've got away from the danger. But this is quick, 50 seconds in, and they've cleared the top floor. The only issue is they've missed Foxay. That would have been on Yas to find him and drone him out, sitting around the bottom side of 90. If he comes on a big flank later in the round, it could be really dangerous.
I love stuff like this, because I look at this and, like I say, in my notes last time, I've written down specifically, Vertical holds top floor for 2 minutes. This time, DAMWON Kia, they've recognised that, they've got in quickly, they've pushed them all out, they've got top floor control, but in doing so, they've maybe made a new mistake that's going to hurt them, as you say, just allowing Foxy to remain out there. They do have air jabs in place. That may well be their saving grace, but right now, DAMWON Kia, you got your top floor control, at least for the time being. Get that floor opened up and start piling some pressure onto Oxygen, because they are reeling right now.
They are. It's about that final 90-second point, though, where they've got to start putting the pressure on here, getting the pace moving. Foxay still hanging off down to the south, but everyone else is obsessed with the site at this point. For the most of OXG, they're playing more of these perimeter plays, right? You've got Vertical hanging out towards Living Library, Laxing off in the far side of Kitchen, and all of DAMWON Kia are stacking out towards the east, a split between top floor and bottom floor. And again, I'm watching Foxay. He's the one that I think can have a big impact if he gets the flank right.
He's just going to hold himself in piano for the time being. He's just had a little bit of attention from the downstairs window next to red stairs as well. So just conscious that there is potential pressure that he needs to hold on to for the time being. He's taking a little cheeky peek out there onto the laundry door, just trying to find anything that he can. Quarter's going to take a little bit of damage, but we can see there's a lot of access to site here from laundry, and there's a real opportunity for DAMWON Kia. Now, Woogie Man, what are you doing? He's just roaming around in the basement.
He's being the boogeyman. He's hiding in the dark.
Certainly is. He's maybe going to pop up those Astro stairs. There's 20 seconds left though, Des, and DAMWON Kia have made very little progress here in terms of using those vertical angles, in terms of finding kills, moving players around, but it begins. Woogie Man comes up from the basement, pops up and manages to find himself a kill. Laxing answers back with one onto Katsang, but here comes the push
going deep
from DAMWON Kia. Quarter goes in deep. He's going to have an opportunity to get the diffuser down. Could Fox spoil the party? He can't find him. Quartered is going to be successful. It's planted. It's 3 versus 2, Des.
What a different spot to plant in as well. It's all down to Foxay and Laxin, but one gets shut out. Coty with the close down. Laxin, it's time to come up big. You want to keep your team in this game, you've got to find some kills, but DAMWON Kia are hiding in corners, playing like rats, waiting for him to come out of the woodwork. Coated, going to be the first challenger. Doesn't know about him coming down. Yes, he does. Laxin wins 1. Rin, going to be the second challenger off to his left. Also, we'll find the diffuser there. Steps in, gets the kill. It's a quad for Laxin. Can he go all the way and get the shutdown? It's against Yas, the man that I've said a few times has been very quietly doing his job. He's holding the longer angle, just daring him to step in. We're already out of time though. Laxin's left it a little bit late. Yas gets the shutdown. They've done it. So many rounds, back to back, 6 on the bounce, and they win Villa.
What a performance we have just seen from DAMWON Kia. 6-2 down to an 8-6 win. Oxygen reeling after that one. I was very complimentary of the North American